on now, which create opportunities for investors like myself and for the people that follow our research, are in the areas of solar power and also in the area of wind power. And so, for example, when you fly over many of the coastal areas of China now, you see the wind farms just along the coastline where they are generating clean energy from wind turbines. But another area that is rapidly developing is the use of solar energy. And so the government has issued a number of subsidy programs and support programs to build this new industry from its infancy to where it's expected that within 10 or 15 years, somewhere between 10 and 15% of the total electrical needs of the country will be satisfied from these solar and wind projects. So that's really an exciting thing for the environment, but it's also an exciting thing for people in these industrial regions that will be producing the products that are used for these new industries.
OK， and 就是环境照顾环境的企业变成在中国变成很要紧。还要问哪一个地方是特别管理这种的环境帮忙环境的企业 and you also mentioned some areas that they regions perhaps that concentrate in aspects of the green industry. What are those areas?
Well, you really see it. It's not limited to only one region. You really see innovation going on throughout the different areas. So you see not only production activities in the Northeast and the Northwest, where you will see heavy industrial production that would be producing components of these new wind turbines, or being producing components of some of these solar applications. But you also see some of the research being conducted along the coastline too, of course, in southern China as well as in Shanghai area. But typically the actual manufacturing is being done in the more productive areas such as the Northeast or Northwest.
OK， 要问现在全地球的经济有问题，现在人consume 的比较少， so 或者在中国这个全地球的经济的问题还会有什么结果 ？Also want to ask you regarding the international economic downturn. How does China look positioned in that, and what sort of industry? Well, mention the green. What is sort of industry, and what is the government plan, the feasibility for China to have its internal consumption also?
Well, this is actually a very interesting question. It's been our view for quite some time that ultimately China will emerge as the world's largest economy. And that will be a good thing both for China and for the rest of the globe. One of the exciting things that we've seen since the opening and development of capitalism in China has been that China has really in the last 30 years brought more people out of poverty than any country has in the history of the world. And so that's been a tremendous thing both for economic development globally as well as for the quality of life for the individual Chinese families. Now, it's our expectation that this trend will continue. If you look at China from kind of a macroeconomic point of view, China is still predominantly a country where the majority of the population lives in the rural areas. If you look at most industrial societies around the world, whether it be the United States or Western Europe, you find that roughly 80% of the population lives in urban areas and roughly 20% of the population lives in rural areas. In China, roughly 60% of the population still lives in rural areas and only 40% are in urban areas. And that continued development will continue to change the face of global economic activity as well as China.
最后要问美国投资的人如果有对在中国投资有兴趣怎么会是方便还是不方便 Also like to ask you just maybe to wrap up if American investors large or small are interested to invest in Chinese security, stock, bond, whatever, what have you. Is that a difficult thing, easy thing? How big do you have to be to do it?
Actually, we think it's a very wise thing to do because if you look at the demographic changes going around the world, clearly China has grown tremendously, and that's created a lot of opportunity for people both inside and outside of China. The easiest way to invest in Chinese stocks for someone who does not live in China would be to invest in Chinese stocks that trade in New York or Hong Kong. And it does not require a great deal of investment capital to be able to do that. Many of these companies are trading at very reasonable valuations where it just does not take a great deal of capital. And that's the most practical way for people outside of China to invest.
Okay, well, this has been extremely interesting, and we hope to have you back again to follow the developments in the economy as they come. Anyway, 我们的希望也是Jim 将来的时候也可以来给我们每一个礼拜每一个的报告，我们可以继续跟着中国股票的市场。So I want to thank you very much, James Trippon of China Stock Digest, James Trippon, 中国股票文字的 company. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon.
谢谢，非常荣幸。